welcome to the Planning Commission meeting for our November 3rd, 2015. We've never meeting before. First of all, let's turn our phones off if we can, or turn them on silent. And the way things work is, once we are done with the roll call and approval of the minutes, the city staff presents on an item.
I'm right next to
All right, thank you, Bob.
Okay, Bob.
All the TV audience heard that, too. City staff presents on an item, then we ask technical questions on the commission's behalf. After that, we open it up for public commentary. If you have something to say, please step up to the microphone, state your name and address, and try to stick to the topic at hand if you can. With that, let's call the roll.
David Borsak.
Present.
Ed Bowen. Jeffrey Tomes.
Here.
Switek.
Here.
John Hintz.
Here.
Steve Cummings.
Here.
Kathleen Propp.
Here.
Gary Gray.
Here.
Donna Laurie. Robert Weigert. Carl Nolenberger.
All right, let's moving on to approval of the rather lengthy minutes from the last meeting. Do we have any corrections, additions, deletions, modifications?
Move to approve.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion clearly passes. Let's move on to item number 1, stormwater utility annexation number 3.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The city is requesting approval of the stormwater utility annexation number 3 from the town of Oshkosh. Up on the screen, I have the subject site. The site is approximately 11.869 acres of city-owned land located at the 3400 block of North Main Street. It's currently surrounded by city on the north, east, and south sides. Currently, the subject site has 2 zoning designations, first being M1 light industrial on the northern, I'd say 4/5 of the property, and a Winnebago County zoning designation of I1 light industrial district on the southern 1/5. The subject site is identified on our comprehensive plan appropriate for industrial uses based on our 20 and 10-year comprehensive plan. The city is requesting this annexation be annexed with a zoning of an M3 general industrial district, which is consistent with the city's comprehensive plan for the area and consistent with the zoning designations surrounding the site to the northeast and south. Last summer in 2014, the Oshkosh Common Council established tax increment district number 27, which is a North Main industrial TID. The TID was the purpose of the TID was to facilitate development or further development of public facilities and encourage new industrial development within North Industrial Park. Let's see, that's just an air photo showing the site. Currently being used for agricultural purposes and undeveloped. Let's see. Okay, this is a map from the TID number 27 plan, which shows the proposed improvements. Part of those improvements call for the construction of 3 drainage basin or detention ponds or drainage ponds. 3 of them located kind of outside of the TID district. The subject site being located here, kind of just west of Jackson Street, and then 2 more ponds south of the current TID district. The city hired a consultant, Brown and Caldwell, to perform a stormwater management study and determined the 3 locations, and this is the first of these 3 steps. The site was appropriate for providing quality and flood control within the Furno Avenue drainage basin. Another benefit of the city building these proposed 3 ponds, generally nowadays when the city develops new industrial parks, the city provides off-site detention basins to allow for more industrial development on the private property side. When the North Industrial Park was developed, this predates a lot of the stormwater requirements, but most of these sites, the developed sites within here, are stymied from any further development because of the on-site requirements. So once these 3 ponds are built, these existing properties will have the option to utilize these 3 ponds for runoff and allow for further expansion of the industrial developments. That's just a map showing the annexation, which goes to the state. The Department of Public Works recently finalized the acquisition of the 11.87 acre site. The site is approximately 830 feet long along North Main Street and 623 feet deep off of Main Street. Public Works determined that no other facilities or services will be provided. Police and Fire reviewed this annexation request and don't have any concerns with providing services to the site. And staff is in support of the annexation request, which will allow for further North Industrial Park development.
All right.
And we're requesting approval with the temporary and permanent zoning of M3 General Industrial District as proposed.
All right, thank you. Technical questions? Jeff?
Just what we talked about when Bemis was expanding, is that where? We talked about Bemis was doing expansion and we were concerned about the water runoff at that time.
I'm not sure if
that
Enos's plan is part of this.
No, but that was one of the drivers.
That was one of the drivers behind this.
Driver of the TIF district.
We didn't have space for it.
Oh, do you want to address that, Steve?
Please do.
The Bemis expansion was a major driving factor. The TIF district is also one of the driving factors to the detention basin. And if you go to the slide that you had up just before this, you'll notice that the area of the detention basin is substantially smaller than what we're proposing. That size was what was needed for the tax incremental district. On a larger scale, we were also studying the Fernal Avenue watershed and can do additional benefits from the watershed and control more water from large areas outside the TID by expanding that basin.
Thank you.
Gary?
Why is this stormwater utility annexing 3? What 1 and 2 before? I mean, I'm just wondering why this isn't number 1. I would assume that there was 1 and 2 before. Anybody?
Earlier this year, we had 2 other annexations that were implemented by the stormwater utility. So it's just just naming convention. You got to call the annexation something.
Oh, okay, it's just clarification. The other question is, does Plan Commission need to approve the detention basin, the actual detention basin?
Yes, the city will have to come back and get a conditional use permit for the detention basin. This is just the portion or the
annexation.
Yep, earlier this year, Plan Commission recommended approval for the land acquisition. This is the next step in that process to get the pond built, to bring the land into the city.
No more questions.
All right. Back to Jeff.
And the reason to make this M3 instead of another zoning that would allow for the retention pond, which they wouldn't have to come back?
No, all zonings require, or all city facilities are conditional use within the city, but once the new zoning ordinance is updated, it's probably be rezoned to, is that public institutional or institutional zoning? But it's just kind of like no holding pattern, it's just consistent with everything around it.
Okay.
Other technical questions? All right, seeing none. Anyone here from the audience to speak to this item today? Flag it. Okay, back to the commission. Gary.
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? All right, let's call the roll.
Borsak,
Aye.
Bowen,
Aye.
Tomes,
Aye.
Hills,
Aye.
Cummings,
Aye.
Crop,
Aye.
Ray,
Aye.
Wojciech.
Aye.
Motion carried. 8-0.
All right, before we adjourn, Gary, I believe you had a comment to make?
Yes, I would like to have the staff just make a quick, simple comment on the status of the Whipple project that we held last meeting.
The only status that we have right now is the item has been withdrawn until a future date. That future date could happen, could not happen. It's all in the developer's hands at this point.
Okay, thank you.
Jeff?
Yeah, I just wanted to comment, during, not the greatest of circumstances last week, I thought Kathy did a nice job of controlling, in Tom's absence, that Kathy
felt
did,
terrible
and I
about
just
being out
wanted
of
to
town
let
for
people
them.
know, I thought Kathy did a nice job of trying to control a volatile type situation.
We'll debrief on that. We'll put that on as an agenda item at some point in one of the upcoming meetings, just to talk about the process.
All right, looking for a motion to adjourn. For
So moved. Second.
Steve moved and John seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those
See you on
opposed?
Snacko today.
Now it's time for workshop.